apparently Nissan is bringing back the Nissan Xterra for the 2028 model year. Does that make me excited? Yes. Does that make me nervous? Also yes. So I guess this is as good a time as any to introduce you to my 2011 Nissan Xterra. At the end of my last video, I mentioned I had another vehicle in my driveway that I wanted to share and talk about, and that is my 2011 Nissan Xterra. And this car means a lot to me, and it's very special to me, and I've been wanting for a very long time. I want to talk about exactly what I want to do to it. I know it seems like I have a lot of projects, I have a lot going on. I think this one may be more manageable, because overall, mechanically, it's good, it's sound. Cosmetically, well, if you know anything about Nissans from the mid-2000s, they don't hold up that well. So I'll go over some things that are wrong with it, which is mostly cosmetic, and then maybe get into the plan of what I'd like to do to it. I mean, turning this into like an overlanding rig would be really cool, but do I want to mess up the originality and the formula that Nissan created that I actually really enjoy? Or do I just want to sink all my money into it and turn it into something that I may not use? I don't want to turn into one of those people that do it for the aesthetic. If you are new to the channel, I'm Tyler, and this channel is learning what I don't know about the automotive world and cars and working on cars. Because I have such a passion, but I'm a little clueless. So don't take any advice from me. Now, some of the cosmetic issues on this one are not necessarily the vehicle's fault, but I will say that the durability of the plastics, Nissan just didn't do a great job. The bumpers and the side trim here and the storage on the top where this stuff is, it fades really quickly. It scratches very easily. You can see here I have this protectant. What do they call this? What is this called? What are you? I want to say this is probably like original to when this car was bought. I don't know if they installed these when they first were released or this was done at the dealer or even after the fact. Because of the way the front wheel is and it kicks up rocks, it hits this because this juts out a little bit. I don't know if you can really tell, but see, it kind of juts out to cover the back wheel. So everything just hits that. I want to really take these off and possibly replace them. I just fear that what I'm gonna see underneath, because there are pits in it and holes, and that's something to think about. The previous owners before me, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they liked just riding behind dump trucks or something, but the rock chips are abundant, and they didn't use the right paint matched touch-up paint for any of these rock chips. And I know this thing is basically a brick, and that is going to be very hard to avoid it getting hit by stuff. The part of the grill here is fading, and all this is fading, and this car is a 2011, and even the 2015s look like this. They almost feel prehistoric in a way from when this body style came out in 2005. My headlights, they're faded. The cowl here is starting to fade. I actually had to repaint these little gutters on my roof here because they were starting to, pretty much all the paint had come off and it was starting to rust. I did a horrible job. I'm pointing out a lot of this cosmetic stuff. It doesn't really matter for the most part, and a lot of it I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna repaint it, of course. But some of the plastics I'd like to do, I hear people paint these. Is that a thing? Should I do that? Also, I'd like better lights. Is it even worth it? Am I even gonna use these? So the interior of this looks like a mid-2000s interior. These plastics that they used back then, I mean, when people were putting these together in the factory, they had to have been laughing. Like, they knew what they were doing was hilarious. Got it! Now, I do have the Pro 4X model, which was the high-end model at the time. So I even have the original floor mats. Of course, I don't really like that they're carpet, and I want to change that. It's got the Rockford Fosgate stereo in it right there. This model year, they hadn't put the navigation in yet. Nissan, I don't think, was really doing that until a little bit later in these, which would have been nice, because I think I also would have gotten a backup camera, but hey, it's okay. I also have these very nice Pro 4X seats. I like them. However, over there on the driver's side, if you can see, they're getting a little worn. And when I say worn, they're starting to crack and tear. Someone used to smoke in this vehicle, and they dropped a cigarette here. They're starting to get scratches. But overall, these seats are really comfortable. I want to get that fixed though, because I like the seats. I don't want to cover them up, but I want to replace them. For the most part, whoever owned my vehicle before me took very good care of it. It's in pretty nice condition, I think anyway. Again, these plastics, they're so easy to scuff up and mark, but I'm always having to wipe them like really aggressively, and they get so pitted and stuff, which is annoying. This one still has like the tonneau cover in the back to cover up your stuff. The seats fold flat, so you have a nice storage space that is flat when the seats are folded. We also have the original first aid kit here, and I actually had to use one of these band-aids once. And speaking of first aid kit, that really shows a prominent design that they chose for the Xterra, is to bump out where that first aid kit lives. I think it's really cool, and I hope the new Xterra has this included. If not, is it really an Xterra at that point? And this is like a huge like design feature. Here we are on the roof, where you have this roof rack that is factory installed, which is very useful. I've put my kayak up here, but you also have the storage container that you could definitely put some decent amount of things up here. I put some straps and other things. It is disgusting in here. Look at that. Look at all that stuff underneath. I gotta clean that out. I hope the new Xterra also has this as well, because again, this is another awesome design of this. And back to the lights, I don't like the way these I don't like the way these lights look. I think they're ugly. I kind of would either just want to take them off or try to replace them with something else. And under the hood here, we have the infamous 4.0 V6. This engine has been around for a while. It's even a variant of it is in the newer Frontiers, and they are really pushing this thing as far as they can into the future. And I just realized this engine bay is absolutely disgusting. This engine is fairly reliable, and luckily it is working great. I'd like to install a cold air intake, but I don't know how much that really helps, and I probably do need a new battery because this one's fairly old. And if you notice these here, so when I first got this vehicle, the hood was like going up and down a little bit. There was a weird squeaking noise anytime you go over a bump or even close the door. Well, I read that there's like these little pads that are supposed to be here to kind of stop, and really these, I think right here, these kind of wear down over time, and that prevents it from getting a good seal. But I was told you put furniture, like floor scuff pads or whatever they are, you just can place them here and it will help stop that, and it has. And for the time, this engine had pretty decent power, 261 horsepower, 281 foot-pounds of torque. Made it to either a manual, a 6-speed, or a 5-speed automatic. For the time, those were relatively good numbers, and even today, it's no slouch. Now, I did say that mechanically this is pretty sound, and most of the things wrong with it are cosmetic, but I will say I've noticed recently, anytime on startup, if it hasn't been started in a while, there's a little bit of belt squeal or a little bit of whine, but it goes away literally in seconds. So I don't know if I should be very concerned about that. And over the summer, the driver's side window, this switch is starting to not work. The motor and everything works fine. The switch itself, you have to be very gentle with it. I'm gonna see if I can replicate it. I can put the window down just fine, automatically. There it goes. To put it up, if you try to do it, don't be playing with me. Don't be. Now, this is some shit. That switch was not working like that literally 2 days ago. So we're gonna take the Xterra on a drive. I'm gonna let you know how I think it drives. Talk about why this vehicle is sort of special to me, why I even got it, and what I hope the new Xterra brings. So driving the Nissan Xterra, I love this car because when I was a young lad, my mother was looking for a new car, and the new body style of Xterra in 2005 had just come out, and that's what she test drove. I went with her and my dad on that test drive, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Now, they didn't get that vehicle. They got like a Ford Focus. I remember that test drive of that vehicle very vividly. I want to say the one we test drove was yellow. Obviously not the color she would have got, but it was yellow. From that day on, I have always really wanted one. It wasn't until last year when I picked this one up. This Xterra, I'm about to hit 79,000 miles, which is low mileage for this year. This is probably the most reliable vehicle that I own. Granted, it's not the most fun, and some people may say that, or it's not the most interesting either. However, to me, it's probably really close to being my favorite vehicle that I have. It does drive like a truck. That's one reason my mother ended up not getting it, because it was too truck-like. It's not the most refined thing that you'll drive, but it gives you a genuine driving experience, and you actually feel like you're driving the vehicle. It's not very overly electronically assisted. It has enough power, especially in the torque numbers, to get you up and going at highway speed, passing people. It takes a lot for it to do that, but you get there, and it's sufficient for what it is. Of course, the off-road capability of this is why a lot of people love it, and that's why I love it. I've always wanted a 4x4 vehicle that I could take off-road if needed. Do I? Not as much as I should, and I hope to change that with my Xterra. So Nissan is apparently bringing back the Xterra for the 2028 model year. I'm really excited about that. Bringing the Xterra into the modern era, which I know sounds ridiculous because this is still a modern vehicle. I mean, come on, there wasn't that many changes from 2005 to 2015 at all. Them talking about having a hybrid V6, the only thing is I hope it's not plug-in, but if you're gonna put a hybrid V6 in it and you're gonna try to follow the same model like Toyota's doing with the 4Runner and their Tacoma, you're gonna dip into a market that is really hot right now. I just hope by 2028 it's not too late, because the way the market was in 2015 when they discontinued the Nissan Xterra, from what I've researched, it was dwindling. At the time, Nissan was dealing with a lot of turmoil, which they still are. I think they pulled out, in my opinion, too prematurely, and that's a bummer. So I'm really hoping they knock it out of the park. Will they? We'll have to see. This is a nice little park. I am in a very nice park right now. The AC runs really nice in here. Now, what do I want to do with mine? Do I want to turn it into overlanding? Do I want to mod it out? Do I want to put big mud tires on it? I think so. I want to be thorough with it and think about it, because I also want to be able to utilize the mods that I put on this vehicle. And right now I use this as kind of a hauling vehicle and also traveling. We have dogs, and this is the vehicle that they hop into when we want to go somewhere with them. So it is important that it still is drivable in a long distance. Now, I will say the Xterra is not like the most comfortable vehicle to take on a road trip, but it's definitely a very practical one. So I do want to still keep that practicality, and what comfort it does have, I want to retain it for the most part. Oh, there's horses, and they have boots on. Those horses have boots. Oh, then that one has a face covering, and there's freaking alpacas. Man, I want an alpaca. I really want a cow. So if you have a Nissan Xterra and you have made upgrades or modded it or kitted it out to be an overlanding vehicle, let me know what I should do. Like, what's the best thing? I know that there are some issues and some preventatives that you want to do with your Xterra. Luckily, the year that this came out in 2011, there was a issue, something with the transmission and coolant getting into that, but that was remedied starting with the 2011. However, a lot of people, well, from what I've read on forums, I do want to check my breather valve on my rear diff, because that can get clogged sometimes, and there's a fix that people have come up with to help that from not getting clogged. And I think that's really making sure that the breather valve is extended, so that way if you do take this through mud or water, that it does not affect things getting into it. So I guess nostalgia is what really brought me into this Xterra. I absolutely love it. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. I want to work on it. I want to do things to it. It's a great backup vehicle and a great vehicle to haul things, pick up things. There's plenty of space in the back. It fits 5 people relatively comfortably, and overall I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to pose the question to you. What should I do with my Xterra? And will Nissan be able to replicate or even outdo what they did so well so many years ago? I sure hope so, because I love this vehicle. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do, so you can get more videos and updates on the Xterra, what I want to do to it, and all the other vehicles that I have. And hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a video. Coming up, I really want to get into the BMW E36 that I have in my garage there. Begin the process of restoring it. What does that mean? I'm not sure. But until the next one, learn what you don't know.